Sound is completely integral to filmmaking, it's completely integral to storytelling. You can't create worlds and atmospheres or tell your story in the way you'd like to without sound. For me, filmmaking is about the relationship between sound and image. We decided to mix in Dolby Atmos from the start. My sound team in Germany introduced me to Dolby Atmos, and we were lucky to work with a post house in Berlin called the Post Republic, and they have a fully equipped Dolby Atmos dubbing theatre. So once they introduced me to it and I understood the capabilities of the new technology, it was very exciting to mix in Dolby Atmos. The main difference of working in Dolby Atmos is you have much more range, you have more speakers to play with, so therefore you have more creative control, many more options, and you're still trying to do the same thing in terms of your story and the atmosphere of the world you're creating, but you can just go further. So you're just creating this three-dimensional sound space where you have so many more options where you can move your sound and how you tell your story and how you create the atmosphere you'd like to create for your scenes and the entire film.
Goliath heard in grid, requesting airstrike.
The great thing about working with Atmos for a creature film like this is that your monsters are able to be bigger than the cinema space you're in, because they leave the space in a way because of the three-dimensional nature of Atmos and because of the bank of speakers on the ceiling. For the first time you can have sounds hovering above an audience, whether it's a helicopter or you can feel like your creature is taller than the cinema you're actually sitting in. It gives you a greater sense of scale sonically than perhaps you've ever had before. I always wanted the creatures to feel entirely organic, as if they could exist in the natural world, exist on our planet, even though they are alien. So we looked at things like, I wanted them to have a prehistoric quality. We looked at dinosaurs, and with the visual effects team, we built up the textures of the animals, of the creatures, the monsters in the film, from the actual locations we were filming in. So whether it's the rock faces or the sand, so therefore the sound had to echo that. The way Christian Conrad, my sound designer, went about that was taking a sound from the natural world. He used things like whales sounds and used that as the nucleus to build up a soundscape for the creatures, to give them character and to bring them to life. Obviously, with them, there's also a lot of detailed work that goes into that. So there's a lot of Foley sessions and the dust falling off them and the debris. And to give the creatures great mass, we had to really work in the low frequencies. It's very hard to make a creature feel heavy unless it's coming from the sub-bass, and that's how you create that great mass. So we were really looking at using dynamic frequency ranges with the creatures as well as those very natural sounds. The creature designers and the visual effects team have worked very hard on giving these weird monsters a life as CGI effects, but when you start to put sound behind them, then they totally come to life and they start to have an animal quality and you have almost then a human, relatable connection to them. I wanted the film to feel kinetic and loud for the first half of the movie, so you're with these soldiers who are going to war, and you feel like you're part of the troop of guys. You're in there with them, and it's very kinetic and noisy, kind of metaphorically, the film. And then halfway it changes, and I wanted to kind of take the audience to the ultimate sort of point of pressure we could take them to, and then let it change. And so sonically it needed to change too. The film becomes more contemplative and hopefully more poetic, and the sound needed to reflect that, and I hope we've done that. One of the ways the sound team created pressure was the frequency ranges they were working with, sometimes uncomfortable frequency ranges. So there's a range where a baby's cry might exist, or the rattle of metal, and that sort of sets your nerves on edge and places you again within this uncomfortable and sort of sometimes fractious sound world. And they were using those sort of sound frequencies to kind of create a jarring and uncomfortable quality for you as the audience, and to make you feel as uncomfortable as the characters do. beauty of an Atmos mix is you can still feel a more emotive quality from your music, but you can hear a bullet casing flying off to your left in a much more precise and clear way.
Okay, mark it.
It always felt like we were making a film that was far bigger than the resource we had, and that was the intention, to make a film that, you know, exceeded the resource. And you know, we thought about the film constantly with great ambition and limitless imagination, and so did the sound team, and it's been completely integral to trying to accomplish that, to create scale and to create this film, as I say, that exceeds its resource through sound as well as image. And certainly having a huge atmospheric sound mix helps your movie to feel bigger.